We're going to get into, this is going to be just the last 15, 18 hands of a heads up. Bernard's going to lead us through this. This is how he's just reading this guy. Whatever information you want to tell us about the villain going into heads up.
This is just a random player. He played like very weak, just calling like all the time and bluffing a couple of times when it was obvious that the other guy had like a much better hand, and it's just a random. He didn't have like a great understanding of the game. So I want to keep the pot small against a guy like that. And you see, we're still pretty deep. We have like 20 big blinds almost, like 16 big blinds. So there's some room to play. So I'm planning to limp a couple of hands to keep the pot small, sometimes raising big hands and mixing up my game a lot. Here I'm just betting, just take the ball down. I figured he would raise an ace, so limping. A terrible hand, but I get great odds. And I just try to take the ball down on the flop, and you see it works. Just checking, and he was also capable of checking like pretty good hands. You see, he has middle pair. He just checks it down. So I also recognized that, and I made immediately a note that he's capable of doing that. So I'm not going to bet with low pairs all the time, because he might be slow playing better pairs.
And also pre-flop looks pretty bad. So, I mean, you put him in this passive category.
Yeah, sure. And, I mean, this guy, because he's so bad, he's a pretty bad player post-flop, he should raise, like, much more hands. Because he should make the pot a little bit bigger.
Let's just talk about that for 1 second. You know, and I know we've gone over this ad nauseum. You know, just when you go into a heads up, and if you feel that you have the edge, you're keeping all these pots small. You know, the less edge you have, the bigger pots you're willing to play. Could you just talk about that a sec before we continue?
Yeah, if I play like a terrible player like this guy, then I want to play as much pots as possible, because every pot I feel like I have an edge. But if you play against like a very good player, then you just want to get the chips in, and especially if you're playing like 15 tables and you can't concentrate that good and you're playing like one of the best, then it's fine to have some kind of coin flip at the end. You don't have a big edge anyway, so then it's fine. But against a guy like this, I'm not going to make like crazy moves and raise like 9 deuce, because he might call like a 10-8, and then of course if I make a c-bet I lose, and he pushes, I lose half of my stack. So I try to find like the best spots I can.
Excellent.
I'm just limping.
Against these guys.
Yeah, and a lot of players, they think like, okay, but if you limp, the other guy is going to raise. But you see that this guy is not raising, and every time I get odds to limp, and he's folding a lot of times.
So if you knew the guy was never raising you, would you just always limp with your medium hands? I mean, there's no reason to raise then, right, pre-flop?
No, sure. Yeah, he raised like sometimes, and 8-8 suited, I think it's strong enough to push. Even against the right, it's not raising all the time.